People have talked about Antonelli filling the shoes of Lewis
Yeah.
Hamilton, but for me, it's George Russell filling the
Yeah.
shoes of Hamilton, ready to lead that team. What have you made of George with back-to-back Grand Prix podiums and then a P4 in the sprint so far this season?
He's, for me, been the best driver of this year so far. Obviously, we know McLaren's got the fastest car, but for me, George Russell has been the star of the show. We don't really see much of him during the race, but that's a good thing in my eyes. It means you're doing a consistently good race. You know, he's out-qualified the likes of Lando in certain qualifying sessions. You know, he's going wheel to wheel some of these drivers. You know, he held off Lando, who's in the fastest car for 3 laps. But it's his consistency, and I think if he can stay consistent enough, he's in a shout for drivers' champion this year, definitely. Especially if Mercedes can keep up this sort of development.
Yeah, Gary making the point that just getting on with business. There's no
Yeah,
pressure on him. And we've discussed earlier with a couple of the other drivers, pressure is the weight that some
yeah,
people are crumbling under. If we look at George's journey, in fact, I remember he started alongside Lewis, performing really well. And then was it the 2023 season? He fell away and he said
yeah,
he had to really go back and reanalyze where he was at because he got into his own head. And again,
yeah.
it's that idea of blocking out the noise, isn't it?
Yes, definitely. I think George has overcome that mentality issue. You know, a lot of expectations were put on him to be the lead Mercedes into this new era, to be the number one driver at Mercedes, and so far this season he's doing that fantastically, I believe.
And what do you make of the machinery that he now has at his disposal?
It seems a lot more stable. That's definitely certain. I think the car looks more stable. It looks a lot quicker. You know, you could say they might have the second fastest car on the grid. I think it's going to be track to track. But
Mm.
so far, they look a lot more stable. They look quick. They look fast. You know, both Kimi Antonelli and George Russell are both in the top 5 of the Drivers' Championships. They're currently second in the Constructors, which I don't think anyone was expecting going into the season. And so far, they're the biggest threats in McLaren with, Red Bull and Ferrari not doing so great.